During yesterday's live stream, several folks were asking, whatever happened to the community center that we were talking about building on the commercial lot. And I was a little evasive. I wasn't evasive. I couldn't tell you because Mrs. W and I have so many plates spinning right now with various options for things that we're trying to nail down. And finally, we went for a drive and walked the properties and kind of collated our information and how much money we have to spend and et cetera, what we can do. And then with inflation and the cost of building materials, it's tough to build right now. It's not impossible, but it's 50, 60% more than it was, soon to be 100% more than it was, but I don't see it getting any better. So we're going to press forward. So we are going to file for a permit, and we're meeting with the engineers to start construction over there this summer. And once it starts, it will go up pretty quickly. Now, what's this going to be for? What are we going to do with it? Well, is it going to be the community center, or is it going to be something else? That we have another options because we have a second piece of property that we also need to get started on as well. Because not only do we have to have the community center for what Mrs. W would like to do, what we really see ourselves doing, and I guess in the next phase of this whole YouTube thing is we've always wanted to host get-togethers or classes. Similar to what Clint and Heidi Smith do with Thunder Ranch, so we would have a topic and we would keep it very limited, couples or singles, whatever, but would come for like a week or 3, 4, 5 days for that specific topic. So it could be blacksmithing, it could be timber framing, and not that I'm the expert on any of these things, but we have so many guys in this area that we would bring someone in to help, and we all could learn together. I'm more interested in facilitating. I have the reach and putting everything together so that we can create this and have these things to look forward to. There's just so many things that I want to share. We could wild edibles. Just to come out in the fall and hunt chanterelles or morels in the old growth forests of the Pacific Northwest is a pretty amazing experience. And not to mention, just the motorcycle, off-road, on-road, mountain biking, and unlimited water sports, fishing, all those sorts of things. So that's kind of what I'd like to do. So what we need is a place separate from our home, because we don't want you all in our house as much as we love you, that separates, so a place where we can meet, for these things. But we also need to think about housing, because that's not really available in this area. And if we don't provide it or have access to it where people can rent a room or place to stay, not everyone's going to have an RV. There's a lot of moving parts to this, and the environmental obstacles have been immense and very expensive. And we haven't even put a shovel in the ground for these 2 main projects we're trying to kick off this summer. And yet we're thousands and thousands of tens of thousands of dollars just in paying private firms, engineering firms that need to give the paperwork so we can file to the county. It's terrible. It's terrible. But this is the world that we live in, and we can either throw up our hands and do nothing and check out, or if we want to make these things happen, this is the framework that we need to operate in. And the way I look at it is that God has always provided, and if it's His will that we do this, and we think that it is, then there isn't any obstacle that we really have to worry about. We just have to kind of keep moving forward and step by step and getting it done. As my dad used to say, it's like eating an elephant, like one bite at a time. So I don't know, that didn't tell you a lot more than you already knew, but these are the things we are working on, and we are, we're really serious about this. We are in contact with our builder. I had a conversation again today. I'll be doing what I can, probably most of the site work, roads and excavating, and maybe the septic system, maybe not. You'll have to see how much time I have. But that's what we're working on. So Lord willing, in 16 months, or maybe less, it could be possible we could have our first event. And how nice would it be to have the facility built up with the wood stove, and you guys could come out and learn how to file crosscut saws or whatever. It's not really about it doesn't really matter, the topic, is it? It's just about getting together and hanging out. I think really for me, that's one of the best parts. I'll close with this. A friend of mine that I snow bike with said something to me that was really opened my eyes and helped me to see some things that I was almost struggling with in a different light. And we were snow biking, right? We were up and we were talking, and I don't know, the conversation was kind of getting into, is it worth all the trouble it takes to get out here, and, the gear, and, I was kind of thinking, for the time and money that's spent and the traveling days of driving to get to these destinations, is it really worth the 4 to 5 hours you get to ride around in the snow? Because to get there takes a tremendous effort, right, and an expenditure of resources. And I was kind of lamenting about this, and he made a good point, and he said, "Oh no," he goes, "it's the riding aspect is only a third of what I enjoy about this, and that's enough for me. The other third is the tinkering and the working on stuff and the sourcing parts and just the putting your trailer together, and we like to do that sort of thing." And I thought, that's true. I mean, I have gleaned so much enjoyment just from tinkering and working on the bikes, and I enjoy that part, as well as having the ability to teach my son how to work on engines and how engines work, and 2-stroke versus 4-stroke, and how to change tires. I wasn't factoring in all those things, that all those benefits. And then there was the other third is the social aspect of it, to be able to come together with your friends that you've ridden with and that you've shared these experiences with, and having breakfast together in Stanley, Idaho, or having dinner afterwards and talking about the day, and having all of the young men there and the boys there riding and testing their abilities against each other, and just learning how to be men around men. It's once he said that to me, and it really dawned on, I started thinking about it, I realized that that's true, and it's worth every bit of time, and it's worth the resources and the expenditure to do this, especially if you're sharing it with your children. But even then, I think it would still be worth it just for your own sanity to be able to get out with your friends. So that helped me, and I'll have to make sure I make a point of telling him that comment. I've thought about that long and hard, and that's really put my mind at ease and at peace when I question whether this is the best way to spend time. And it might not be for you. But none of us, I would never, ever point my finger and judge you for what you decide to spend your resources on, or what you do with your time and your money. That's for you to know to do. And for any man to stand up and that hasn't walked in your shoes and doesn't understand your situation is, well, that's nobody we would want for a friend, is it? And I'm thinking about the same thing with the community center and the next phase, and the ability to get together for this type of education. And and I was calculating what it's going to cost, and just the effort to put these structures up, and just to make this happen, and fighting against the uphill battle, fighting against the bureaucracy. And like, oh goodness, is it going to pencil out? Is it really going to be worth it? But it's really more than that. It's more than just that. It's about the whole experience. It's about leaving something better. It's about providing a facility that might also be able to be used by the community. We're always trying to think about that too. So we don't want to just build something just for us. We want it to be as flexible as possible. So yeah, there's just a lot to think about. And Mrs. W, doesn't. It probably never will get the credit that she's due for the amount of effort that she puts in just on that back end. I'm the dreamer, and she's the one that makes everything happen. And it's a thankless job, but make sure she reads the comments. Make sure you give her a thanks for that too, because you guys don't know how much time she puts in to make this channel happen. It couldn't happen, not to this level, without her. That's for sure. Thanks for watching. May God bless you and your families. Please keep us in your prayers. We could certainly use them. And we'll see you all on the next video.
These drifters' days are past me now. I've got so much more